CalPADS error resolution CRSE 0683F2 error. Teaching staff assignment missing. The first step when troubleshooting any error in CalPADS is always to consult the CalPADS error list. And so you can see the error number and the error name on the left two columns. That's for reference, just so you can come to this documentation, the CalPADS error list, or troubleshooting section in the CalPADS user manual. And you can see the error name is teaching staff assignment missing. Common mistake is trying to troubleshoot with just the error name. As you can see, this is not enough detail to even investigate. At the very least, you should reference the error description, the fields validated, and the suggested resolution. And so the error description says a course section includes a seed for which there is no valid teaching assignment. So that is one key component of information, is the course section includes a seed. So we are identifying a staff member as a teacher by the course section record. You can confirm that by looking at the fields validated. It's saying course data and SAS, staff assignment data. Over here in the suggested resolution on the far right, it says understanding the error at the top. A teacher is reported on the course that does not have a valid SAS. And so the suggested resolution says verify that the staff member has a valid job classification for a teacher. If the staff member has multiple assignments within the LEA, verify that each school of assignment has a course record. And then you can see there's a reference to teacher in the CalPADS glossary, which is part of the CalPADS user manual, as well as a reference to 4.4 staff profile list, which is also found in the CalPADS user manual. So if we look into the CalPADS code sets, for job classification code, because we need a valid job classification, you can see the different codes available. 12 is for a teacher, 26 is for a charter school non-certificated teacher, and 27 is for itinerant pull-out push-in teacher. And if you were to read the definitions, you would see the word instruction, direct instruction to the pupil. For 26, providing instruction in a non-core course. And then 27, you see instruction, resource instruction. So those teachers, those staff members with job classification of 12, 26, or 27 are identified by having instruction to students, right? So that's a key thing to consider when you are reporting your staff members who is providing instruction to students. They should have a teaching job classification in their SAS record. If you reference the CalPADS data guide, and you can see I did a search for job classification here, the note says classroom-based or teaching assignments data are submitted through course files. And why do we highlight teaching assignment? Because if you go back to the name, teaching staff assignment missing. So the teaching assignment, you see it here, there is no valid teaching assignment. So understanding what a teaching assignment is helps us troubleshoot the error. And being familiar with all the different documentation allows us to find the answers we seek. There is no direct answer, so you have to infer using the information available. Now you can see I search for assignment, and again in this note, teaching assignments, courses that our teachers assigned to teach. So you can see that the seed attached to the course are teaching assignments, and then I search for job classification again. You can see that they're listed here. You can see teacher, charter school, non-certificated teacher, and itinerant teacher. All right, so this kind of helps you along the way. And then if you reference the user manual, there's a report titled Staff Teaching Assignments, and you can see the only staff members considered in a teaching assignment are teachers. These are the job classification code. And then you can see that the courses reported are their assignments. So you can see the relationship of what is a teaching assignment and who can have a teaching assignment. So what are the causes for the CRSE 0683F2 error? The teaching job classification is missing for a seed that has an associated course record. A seed is misappropriately assigned to a course record, or a teaching job classification is missing at a school of course delivery. So now that we know the potential causes for a CRSE 0 error, let's look at a demonstration for identifying the error and resolving one. So we're going to look at this CRSE 0683F2 error, teaching staff assignment missing. Now the key thing when you're troubleshooting all errors in CalPADS is you want to reference the CalPADS error list or the troubleshooting section in the CalPADS user manual, and we have a link here. This is just the name. It's not designed for anything other than reference. It doesn't tell you what's triggering the error at all, right? And so if you Click this link. It'll take you directly to the CalPADS user manual. I've already opened that. And so you have the error number, the name, and then a description. A course section includes a seed for which there is no valid teaching assignment information. The fields validated typically give you an indication of the error. This isn't very descriptive here, but if you're familiar with CalPADS, it's enough. So we'll walk through that and help you with the error. The understanding the error, a teacher is reported on the course that and does not have a valid seed. Right. So the thing it tells you to do as a suggested resolution, it says one, verify the staff member has a valid job classification for a teacher. If the member has multiple assignments for the LEA, verify the school of assignment and the course record. And so we submitted a course for a staff member, the course data, the seed is in the course. They have to have a job classification code for a teacher. And so you'd either reference the valid code combinations or the code set to find out what those classifications are. And you want to make sure that the seed that has the course has a job classification code. And if they do, you want to make sure that the school of assignment for that job classification code corresponds with the course record. So those are the things we're looking for. Now let's go back. All right. And so we can click the seed and it will take us to that staff member's record. We can see their staff assignment and their courses. If we click view to see what's triggering the error, here we have a course section record. And it doesn't tell us much other than we have a seed that has a course. It's assumed that this staff member is a teacher. They're instructing students directly because they have a course section with their seed. And so this isn't straightforward if you're unfamiliar with the expectations in CalPADS. All right, so we'll come here, we'll click this link, and we'll go to the record. And I've already closed the demographics and opened the assignment. We can see that for the 24-25 academic year, we have a principal. The job assignment is principal, but the job classification code is 10, administration. Teaching would be a 12 or a 27 or a 26. Regular teachers are 12, itinerant teachers are 27, non-credentialed charter school teachers are 26. This is not a teaching job classification code, so assigning a course to this principal is triggering the error. As you can see here in 23-24, this staff member has two staff assignments record at the same school, one for principal and another for teacher. So most likely that is the most appropriate way to report this staff member with the two teaching assignments. And so the correction for the 0683 F2 error would be to add an additional teaching assignment of 12 to account for that instruction they are providing the student. So let's look at another. We'll look at this staff member. Again, we've already closed the demographic records and opened the assignment. And you can see that again, this has a teaching assignment. So why would this be triggering the error? Let's look at the school. 5237151 is the school of course delivery. 52371. See, the school of course delivery is off. This is at Red Bluff High. Maybe it's the district. Let's see. 5237151 is the continuation school. So that's the problem. I went to the other staff member's record and confirmed that this is a different school. The discrepancy that's triggering the error is you have a teaching assignment at the continuation school for this teacher or this seed. However, the teaching record is at the high school. So there would have to be an additional assignment at the continuation school, or this would have to be deleted and assigned. I don't know if this teacher teaches at both sites or if this was just incorrect, but that would be the correction needed. And so those are two examples of what triggers the CRSE 0683 F2 error.